You've tried manifestation. You've written affirmations. You've visualized your dream life 1,000 times. But somehow, nothing changes. The universe seems deaf to your calls. What if I told you that Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, discovered exactly why this happens? And more importantly, what if there's one specific condition you must meet before the universe can actually respond to you? Today, we're diving deep into Jungian psychology to uncover a truth that's been hidden in plain sight. A truth that separates those who transform their lives from those who stay stuck in endless cycles of hope and disappointment. But I have to warn you, this isn't going to be another feel-good video telling you to just believe harder. What we're about to explore will challenge everything you think you know about personal transformation. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's been blocking you and how to finally break through. Before we begin, let me tell you a story that might sound familiar. There was a man, let's call him David. David spent years reading self-help books, attending seminars, practicing gratitude, visualizing success. He did everything right. He believed. He trusted. He let go. But year after year, his life remained stubbornly the same. Same job he resented. Same relationship patterns that hurt him. Same financial struggles. David thought the universe had abandoned him. That maybe he wasn't worthy. That perhaps some people were just destined for mediocrity. What David didn't know was that he was missing the one crucial element Carl Jung spent his entire career trying to teach us. And once you understand this element, everything changes. So let's begin this journey together. If this resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into psychology and personal transformation. Now, let's discover what Jung knew that most people miss. Act 1. The illusion. Let me start with something that might surprise you. Carl Jung never used the term manifestation or law of attraction, but he understood something far more profound about how reality responds to consciousness. Jung said something that should shake us all awake. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Read that again. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is the key, and here's why most people completely miss it. When you try to manifest something, a relationship, money, success, you're operating from your conscious mind, your wants, your desires, your goals. You create vision boards, you write in journals, you repeat affirmations. But here's the problem. Your conscious mind is only about 10% of who you are. The other 90%? That's your unconscious. And Jung discovered that your unconscious mind is running programs, carrying wounds, harboring shadows, and broadcasting frequencies that you're completely unaware of. Imagine you're consciously trying to attract a loving relationship. You're visualizing, you're affirming, I am worthy of love. You're putting yourself out there. But in your unconscious, there's a wounded child who believes abandonment is inevitable. There's a shadow part of you that fears intimacy. There's an unhealed trauma that equates love with pain. What do you think the universe or reality is responding to? Your conscious desires, or the much more powerful unconscious programs running 90% of the show? This is why Jung said we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. Your unconscious creates filters through which you perceive reality. And even more importantly, it creates the frequency at which you vibrate. ... Let me give you a real example. Sarah wants financial abundance. She does all the manifestation practices, but unconsciously, she carries her mother's belief that money corrupts people and her father's fear that we never have enough. Every time an opportunity for more income appears, she unconsciously sabotages it. Not because she wants to, but because her unconscious is protecting her from becoming corrupted or experiencing the anxiety of never having enough. The universe isn't ignoring Sarah. Reality is perfectly responding to her. WHOLE self, not just her conscious wishes. And this brings us to the one condition Jung discovered that changes everything. But before I reveal it, we need to understand something crucial about how Jung viewed the unconscious. Because it's not just a storage unit for repressed memories. It's something far more mysterious and powerful. Act 2. The Shadow and the Unconscious. Jung made a discovery that was revolutionary. The unconscious isn't just personal, it's also collective. We carry not just our own wounds and repressions, but archetypal patterns shared across all of humanity. But let's start with the personal unconscious, because that's where your power and your blocks live most immediately. Jung called the hidden parts of ourselves the shadow. And here's what's crucial. Your shadow isn't just negative traits you've repressed. It also contains your unlived potential, your suppressed gifts, your authentic power that you learn to hide to fit in and survive. Double quotes. Think about it. From childhood, you learn to exile parts of yourself. Maybe you were naturally expressive, but your family valued being quiet and composed, so you buried your expressiveness in the shadow. Maybe you were deeply sensitive, but the world told you to toughen up, so your sensitivity went underground. Maybe you were wildly creative, but you were pushed toward being practical, so your creativity became shadow material. What happens to these exiled parts? They don't disappear. They continue living in your unconscious, influencing every decision you make, every relationship you enter, every opportunity you see or don't see. Double quotes. Here's the paradox. Jung understood. The very qualities you've buried in your shadow are often the ones that would unlock your transformation. The sensitivity you hid could be the intuition that guides you to right opportunities. The anger you suppressed could be the boundary-setting power you need. The wildness you tamed could be the creative force that births your life's work. But it gets even more complex. Your shadow also contains what Jung called complexes, emotionally charged clusters of thoughts, feelings, and memories that get triggered and take over your behavior. Have you ever reacted to something in a way that surprised even you? That's a complex activating. Have you ever sabotaged yourself right when success was within reach? That's a complex protecting you from an unconscious fear. One of Jung's most powerful insights was this: everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. The more you ignore your shadow, the more power it has over you. The more you deny your unconscious material, the more it controls your fate. Now, here's where this connects to why the universe won't help you. It's not that the universe is withholding. It's that you're broadcasting from a fractured, divided self. Your conscious mind says one thing, but your unconscious, which is vastly more powerful, says another. Imagine trying to attract something while simultaneously, unconsciously pushing it away. It's like pressing the gas pedal and the brake at the same time. You're not going anywhere, and you'll burn out in the process. So what's the solution? This is where we get to Jung's one condition. The thing that must happen before your whole being can align in reality, can truly respond to you. Act 3. The one condition integration. Here it is. The one condition Carl Jung discovered that changes everything. Not positive thinking. Not visualization. Not affirmations. Integration. Jung called this process individuation, the journey of becoming a whole, integrated individual. It's the work of bringing the unconscious into consciousness, of embracing your shadow, of integrating the fragmented parts of yourself into a unified whole. And here's why this is the condition the universe is waiting for. Reality responds to coherence. The universe, or whatever you want to call the organizing intelligence of existence, responds to alignment between your conscious and unconscious self. Jung put it beautifully. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. But you can't choose what you're not aware of. You can't integrate what remains in darkness. This is why all those manifestation techniques fail for most people. They're trying to create change from only 10% of themselves, the conscious part. Meanwhile, the other 90% is running old programs, carrying unhealed wounds, harboring unconscious beliefs, and broadcasting entirely different frequencies. Integration means bringing light to the shadow. It means confronting what you've denied. It means retrieving the parts of yourself you exiled. It means feeling the feelings you've avoided. It means acknowledging the truths you've hidden from yourself. Let me tell you what happened to David, the man I mentioned at the beginning. After years of failed manifestation attempts, David finally started doing shadow work. He began therapy. He journaled about his childhood wounds. He noticed his patterns. He felt his repressed emotions. And here's what he discovered. He'd been unconsciously sabotaging every opportunity for success because his father had been absent working constantly, sacrificing family for career. David's unconscious had created a complex. Success equals abandoning loved ones. So every time he got close to a promotion or business success, he'd unconsciously sabotage it to protect his relationships. Once David brought this into consciousness, once he integrated this shadow material, everything shifted. Not because the universe suddenly decided to help him, but because he stopped being divided against himself. His conscious desires and unconscious programming aligned. Within 6 months, he got a promotion he'd been trying to manifest for 3 years. But more importantly, he didn't fear it anymore. He didn't associate it with abandonment. He was whole. This is what Jung meant when he said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. But before you can truly meet another, whether that's a person, an opportunity, or even the universe itself, you must first meet yourself. All of yourself. Integration is the sacred work. It's not easy. It's not quick. It requires courage to face what you've been running from. It requires honesty to admit what you've been denying. It requires patience to feel what you've been numbing. But here's the profound truth. The moment you begin this work, the universe begins responding differently. Why? Because you're no longer a house divided. You're no longer sending mixed signals. You're becoming coherent. You're becoming whole, and wholeness is magnetic. Integration is alchemy. When you unify your conscious and unconscious, you stop merely wishing for things to change, you become the change. And reality has no choice but to reflect that back to you. Act 4. How to do the work ... So you might be asking, okay, I understand the concept. But how do I actually integrate my shadow? How do I bring the unconscious into consciousness? What does this work actually look like? Jung didn't leave us without a map. He developed several powerful methods for this sacred work, and I'm going to share the most accessible ones with you right now. First, active imagination. This is a practice Jung pioneered where you dialogue with your unconscious. You might sit quietly, close your eyes, and ask, what part of me am I ignoring? Then you let images, feelings, or even internal voices emerge. You don't judge them or push them away, you engage with them. You ask them what they need, what they're trying to tell you, what they want you to know. This might sound strange, but remember, these aren't other entities. These are fragmented parts of you seeking integration. Second, dream work. Jung called dreams the royal road to the unconscious. Your dreams are your unconscious speaking to you in symbolic language. Start keeping a dream journal. Write down your dreams immediately upon waking. Don't analyze them intellectually, feel into them. What emotions do they evoke? What symbols keep recurring? Your unconscious is showing you what needs attention. Third, shadow work journaling. Here are powerful prompts to get you started. What qualities do I judge most harshly in others? These are often projections of your shadow. What did I have to hide or suppress to be loved as a child? What patterns keep repeating in my life? What do I secretly fear about getting what I want? What parts of myself have I exiled to fit in? Fourth, somatic work. Your body holds what your mind has forgotten. Trauma, emotions, and shadow material are stored in your nervous system. Practices like therapy, breath work, somatic experiencing, or even yoga can help you access and integrate unconscious material held in your body. Fifth, therapy or coaching with someone trained in depth psychology. This work is profound and sometimes needs a guide. There's no shame in seeking support, in fact. It's a sign of wisdom. The key in all of this is consistency and courage. Integration isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice of becoming more and more whole. Act 5. The transformation. Here's what changes when you meet this one condition of integration. Synchronicities begin to increase. Jung wrote extensively about synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that seem to orchestrate your path. When you're integrated, when you're whole, you become available to the subtle guidance of reality itself. Opportunities appear that match your authentic self, not just your ego's wishes. You stop attracting situations that mirror your wounds and start attracting situations that reflect your wholeness. Your relationships transform. As you integrate your shadow, you stop projecting it onto others. You see people more clearly. You attract people who resonate with your authentic self, not your personas or masks. Your decisions become clearer. The internal conflict quiets. When conscious and unconscious align, you experience what Jung called the transcendent function, a deep knowing that guides you forward. Most importantly, you stop feeling like a victim of fate. You recognize that you're a co-creator with reality itself, not because you've mastered manifestation techniques, but because you've mastered yourself. So let me leave you with this. The universe has never been withholding from you. Reality has always been responding perfectly to all of you, conscious and unconscious alike. The question was never, how do I make the universe help me? The question was always, how do I become whole enough to receive what's trying to reach me? Carl Jung spent his life showing us the path. The one condition is integration. The sacred work is bringing light to shadow, consciousness to the unconscious, coherence to the divided self. This isn't the easy path, but it's the real one. And the moment you commit to it, you'll notice reality begin to shift in ways that will astonish you. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And in the comments below, tell me, what shadow part of yourself are you ready to integrate? What unconscious pattern are you ready to bring into the light? The universe is waiting not to grant your wishes, but to meet the whole, integrated, magnificent being you're becoming. Until next time, do the work. Become whole, and watch reality transform.